You're about to listen to a brand new episode of the Foreign Lady podcast. Make sure you like and subscribe. Now, let's get to the episode. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the Foreign Lady podcast. I'm your host, Elizabeth,
And the bottom line,
and it's been a while. I know I say that all the time, but it's been a while, but we're
yeah,
back. Happy to be with you. It's been few months since we've been here, but I'm really excited. I missed everyone. I missed doing the show with you.
me too.
And so many people have asked me, when are you coming back? When are you doing more episodes? And I was like, all right, we definitely gotta do more episodes and get back into the groove of things. So here we are. And so on today's show, we're gonna cover just a few topics about what's been going on with us, how life has treated us the last couple months. Then we're gonna talk about the two different incidences that happened in the tennis world, one with Coco Gauff and the other one with Taylor Townsend and their hating ass opponents because they're not good enough. So they have to, reduce them to stereotypes, which in 2025, come on. But here we
Yeah,
are.
that's really unfortunate.
It is very unfortunate. So we're going to discuss that. And we're also going to talk about, this whole idea of just putting Black women in a box. I feel like I've seen so many things online just about, how Black women are, how we are, why Black men don't want to date us, people talking about our hair, so many things that I'm just like, all right, we got to stop. What is with people just bashing on Black women, and where are our brothers at? Why are they not defending us? So we are going to talk about all of that and and so much more. So let's get started. How are you doing? How have you been?
It's actually looking really good right now. Just really being an adult, stepping into adulthood. Even though we're already
Yeah.
adults, it's like putting money away for retirement, investments, trying to buy property, and just enjoying sort of the life that being in the field that I've been studying for, having say passive income, looking back and saying, okay, I've kind of made it to a very comfortable place, hoping it only gets better.
Yeah, that's amazing. I'm very excited for you and all the things that you're doing and accomplishing, kind of seeing you grow. Um it's been cool to from when we were in college to now. Yeah. Yeah, definitely been cool. And speaking of college, my baby is in college.
Right.
Yes. So I think 2 weeks ago, I dropped my baby off in college, and it was it was wonderful. It was a wonderful experience. It was a wonderful moment, but it was also a hard moment for so many reasons. Because he sort of left the nest and left the coop, and he's living on his own, being his own person and being his own man now, and I'm so excited for him and his next chapter and his next journey in his life. But it's also bittersweet for me because he's away from me. He's living at home for the first time. There's so many emotions moving here. I remember walking into the his room and putting his stuff away and organizing and all that. And I'm just like, wow, like I'm here. Like I remember when I was moving, when my mom was helping me move into my
Yeah.
dorm room, and now I'm sort of doing the same thing for my son. And I thought about her, and we've always talked about those moments in his life and how she was so excited and couldn't wait. Not having her here to sort of experience it
Mhm.
in person. I know she's with us and all that in spirit, but I didn't cry too much. I only cried once.
Yeah.
Which is good for me because I thought it was going to be like an emotional mess. But I think I just try to focus on like the work of just moving him in, making sure he's good, make sure he has enough snacks and his little cold medicine kit and all of the things that he needs, and focus on that versus just all of the emotional stuff. And I think all of the emotional stuff sort of hit me later on. But yeah, it was cool.
What kind of advice did you give him? Certain
Question.
things you were like, here's what you want to do in college, here's what you don't want to do. Because really looking back, like those years in college do put us on a certain path.
Yeah, I told him to find his tribe. I told him to find his tribe. I told him to we sort of talked about how he didn't really fit in high school, and not fit in like a bad way or anything, just fit in, and he couldn't find people who had the same mindset and sort of thought he did. He's a very, very smart kid, and I'm not just saying that because 'cause I'm his mom. He is really smart, and so he had a hard time with making friends who were sort of in the headspace of, "School is very important to me. I'm very smart at STEM," and he couldn't really seem to connect with his friends in that way. He did have some friends that he met through sports, so I think that was also helpful, but then when he stopped playing his sports, it was just very hard for him. So I told him this is an opportunity for him to go to college and find people who are like-minded, and could relate to him and could challenge him and could open his experiences to different things than what he was used to. And that's what I tried to do with him ever since he was a kid, to sort of open his eyes in a lot of things. I traveled with him a lot when he was younger, just to open his eyes and his perspective to the world. Your little community is not what's out there. There's a whole world out there, and you can experience it and be a part of it. And also the other thing I told him was to learn and do everything. Don't limit yourself to just one thing. Join different clubs, go to different events, go to different parties, have fun, because you are only having this experience once in your life, and it can be hard and it can be challenging, but it can also be fun, and it is what you make of it. College is what you make of it. And so don't be afraid to try different things, and also work hard. You don't have mommy and daddy there anymore. You don't have somebody waking you up at 7 o'clock. You don't have an alarm clock. You don't have anyone saying, "Well, you got to get to class. You got to do this." All of that is on his own. And we talked yesterday. And he said, "Mom, you're so right. It's so different because I'm now responsible for my own schedule. I'm responsible for for getting myself up in the morning." And now he has a job. He has a part-time job, and he's working for the first time. And he's like, "I got to get myself to work. I got to get myself to class. I got to figure out my own study situation." And I'm like, that's what growing up is. But you learn, and it's okay to make mistakes, and it's okay to feel like you don't have it together all the time.
Mhm.
But just do your best, you work hard, and that's all I can ask for as your mom.
Yeah.
And just be a good person. Um and also lean on God more. I gave him a Bible, and I gave him some Bible verses and wrote some stuff down for him, and just encouraged him to lean on God more. And I feel like with my own journey in faith, sometimes I'm like, maybe I didn't do enough to instill that in him. We didn't go to church all the time regularly. I mean, we went to church, but I think after my mom passed away, we didn't really go to church a lot. And
Okay.
that was for my own issues and stuff that I was dealing with. And so when I eventually started connecting back with my own faith and leaning on God more, he's grown now, and I still encourage him and things like that. But I want him to sort of find his own journey in faith and walk with God, and just encourage him to do that. So, yeah,
Yeah.
that was so long. I'm so sorry.
No, it's
But
okay, because I was thinking about that too. When I had experienced loss myself, I actually went to church more, and that was the
mm,
funny thing. I wasn't going to church as often, but I was going to church a lot more because I will say one thing about church, I think it does help keep a family together.
absolutely. I think for me, it was hard. It was hard to step back into my faith after my loss, for so many reasons that I don't want to get into right now,
Mhm.
because that's not the show we're doing right now. But yeah, it was definitely hard for me. And it wasn't until I think I sort of stepped away and reassessed my life, and moved away from the environment that I was in, and kind of started this new chapter in my life, that I connected with my tribe and my circle of incredible women, and people in my life, that really I started connecting more with God again, and really started walking that walk again, with reading my Bible and searching for his word, and just being more faithful and connected, because I didn't used to be like that. Even though I've sort of been, I've been baptized and saved for a long time. I feel like as I'm getting older, and I've gotten older, is when I still consider myself a baby Christian. I don't know all the
Mhm.
words in the Bible. I don't know all the verses. I can't throw them out like that, but I'm learning, and I'm learning, and I'm walking with people who are also learning and also on that path and in that journey, because that's what it is. It's a journey. And I want him to sort of find that path for himself, just like I did. You can there are people that were, raised in a church and all of that, but we all know they ain't saved. So, and that's also the reason why I feel like I haven't baptized him either, because
Wow.
that, yeah, I want him to make that, because I was baptized as a kid, but I didn't remember. But I made that decision as an adult to be baptized, and I feel like that's a personal decision, and that's something you need to do to be baptism is a very personal choice, and I didn't wanna I don't know if people are gonna judge me for it or not. I don't really care, but I wanted him to come to that decision on his own, and not something that just because that's something you do for kids, you gotta do it.
Yeah,
And yeah. And that was a choice that I think I made on purpose, of if this is something that he wants to do to really connect with God, then he needs to make, because my mom always said salvation is personal. You can't push people to be saved. So, and I hope he does come to that point in his life by himself and makes that choice. But
it is true because I got saved when I was a kid when I didn't even understand what it meant to be saved. I just knew that
exactly.
it made my dad really, really happy. I just remember how happy he was that I did it, but I didn't really understand what it meant to be saved. And, not that I regret or anything, but I would say that with my own children, I would say, listen, this really has to be for you so that you
Yeah.
understand the responsibility that comes with that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that was my thought process going into it, of I could do this for him, but he's not going to understand what this means. And I want him to make that decision on his own and come to it on his own. And if he wants to get baptized, then that should be his decision, not mine.
Hey,
So, yeah. Yeah. I'm a little wise sometimes,
I, th-
but
I think we're all wise as we get older. Like we're just like you kind of know how to navigate yourself and others, how to speak to people. Like that's something that I'm really stepping into now, where I'm gonna say what I have to say without it having to be sort of an argument or back and forth without having to get people's feelings hurt.
yeah, I totally get that part. I understand what you're saying in that, because I've had to, there's certain people in my life where every time it's like they always have their defenses up. No matter what I say, it's always a defense. It's an attack. And I've gotten to the point in my life where I'm not going to walk on eggshells around you. If you can't handle what I have to say, then maybe we don't need to be that's a you problem. Maybe you need some therapy, because I can't always just, it's true. Therapy, there's no reason why you should not be in therapy working on your trauma, okay? And if you can't handle the way that people are speaking to you in a kind and loving way, sometimes it could be critical, but in a loving and critical way, and you always have to have your defenses up, that's a you problem. Not a
I
and
hear what you're saying.
I shouldn't have to hold my tongue because you can't handle what I have to say.
I hear what you're saying. Like it's like one thing I've realized is that you cannot reason with somebody who wants to be unreasonable.
Amen.
And it's something that I would talk to my mother about, just somebody who wants to be angry every time, all day.
Mhm.
You can say the nice thing to them, they're still upset.
Say good morning and they're like,
Yeah.
"Why are you talking to me?" Okay.
Yeah, I know a few people like that, and I don't even let it bother me. I'm like, it's more going on with you than you care to admit. So maybe one day it'll be resolved, maybe it won't, but it's not going to change my character and how I treat others.
I agree. I agree. All right. Yeah. So that's what's been going on with me. Yeah. I wish my baby all the best. He's not a baby anymore, but he'll always be my baby. And I did tell him I was going to talk about this, and he was just like, "Oh, mom, I'm
I'm
going to talk about
hoping
this."
I am hoping that I hope he enjoys himself in college.
You know what? No.
I'm hoping
No. No.
I'm hoping
No.
he
No, 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 no. But you know what? I did tell him that I didn't tell him to be a hoe. I told him be respectful. But I did tell him if he wants to start shopping for his future wife, there's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, if he finds her, that's something
If
she
he
could
finds a nice young lady.
along the way, if she happens to be there. I will say this, yo. Don't miss a good opportunity, don't miss a good
Yeah.
woman, definitely not. However, make some good memories, have some
Goodness. Oh
make
my
some really
goodness.
good mistakes.
You forget, I knew you in college, okay?
I wasn't even know I didn't do anything like that.
Sure.
I didn't do anything like that. I
No,
stayed out of trouble.
if you say so. But yeah, I told him start looking for, you never know. You might find a nice young woman that want to spend your life with. So don't miss an opportunity, but don't be a hoe either.
Mhm,
And definitely be safe. I'm not naive enough to think that he's not a man or with hormones. So just be safe and
mhm.
protect yourself and all that. But yeah. All right, let's move on. Let's talk about this. I know like sports can be sort of heated and people, it's a very passionate thing to be an athlete and all that, and I understand things are said in the heat of the moment and all that, but but I think Serena Williams has also talked about it, how tennis can still be very much a white person sport, but we've seen some incredible women of color crush it. Naomi Osaka, obviously Venus and Serena, not Osaka, Coco Gauff and Taylor Townsend. And now we've seen two separate incidences of them, Coco and Taylor, just being straight up disrespected by their
Right.
opponents. And it's just unacceptable. Again, I understand that at the heat of the moment, it could be very passionate and you could be very upset that you've lost and all that, but come on. So if you don't know what we're talking about, the first incident happened back in June, I believe, with Coco, where she beat, her name is Araya. Is that her name? How you say? Arina Sablianka.
I'm only aware of the Taylor Townsend one.
Yeah, so yeah, this one happened in June where Coco defeated Sablianka in the French Open finals. And basically at the end of that match, Sablianka basically called Coco unprofessional and basically accused her of cheating and all kinds of stuff. And then this recent one with Taylor,
Oh,
sorry.
the other one was the one where the girl was like, she really didn't wanna accept the loss, like, she said she made a
Mhm.
lot of mistakes. That was the
Yep.
one? Okay,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So she basically told Coco that the only reason that Coco won was because she was off her game, and that
Yeah.
Coco did not deserve to win because she had a bad game. The court was wet. She didn't play very well, and the only reason that Coco could have possibly beat her is because she wasn't focused that day. Not
Mhm.
because Coco was good, but because she was off her game.
Well, that's the
And
same thing. I'm sorry to cut you off, but that's the same thing. You being off your game and her being on her game is the definition of better. Most matches, a lot of it will come down to the fact that somebody made a mistake and that's why they lost. That's what's
absolutely,
the definition of better. The person
absolutely.
who's preparing, training, doing all they need to do, and they don't make a mistake, that's the definition of better.
Yeah, and then the recent one is the Taylor one,
Mhm.
where she, after defeating, and her name is Janela Ostapenko. Janela called Taylor, told her that she was also unprofessional and that she was uneducated, and yeah, just basically called her all types of names and said that she was uneducated and that it was just a heat of them. And then she sent this apology or posted this apology, basically saying that it was at the heat of the moment and saying that English is not her native language. That's a dumbass apology. You're saying somebody has no class and and is not educated, and you're blaming it on the fact that English is not your second language, and that's your apology? Okay, go sit down somewhere, sweetheart.
Mm-mm.
Um, but what are your thoughts on this, and why is it that when we prove and show our greatness, we are constantly being diminished to having no class, not educated? The only reason you could possibly be in a situation is because, I was off my game or I wasn't thinking correctly. There's no possible way that you could be here based on your merit or because you're good. There has to be some kind of a gotcha moment or a reason why you're here. Like, why is that constantly being the story that are told for women of color that are just are not allowed to be great? like I said, Serena's talked about this and some of the racism that she's faced in her career as well. What is going on?
That's what happens when you have equality. That's the thing about sports. Sports is that area where there's full equality. There's no one that's going to come in and save you. You've got to save yourself. And in those situations where we're on equal footing, you find out who really is the best. Like when you run a race, you don't get to just say, well, we don't know who won. No, we know who won. We saw who crossed the finish line first, right? I don't know if you're familiar with the boxer Jack Johnson. He was the first black heavyweight champion of the world back in 1910. But it was kind of the same thing. Wherever we started to win, they felt like they just couldn't explain, like, how is this happening? Yeah, because on equal footing, we're better than you on equal footing. And that doesn't mean that we're always the best, but on equal footing, you find out that we can compete and beat you. In society, though, in other circles where you can obscure the truth and say, oh, you're just better just because, or some sort of situation allowed us to win. But you can't really say that in sports where it's clear cut, where it's objective. We crossed the finish line first. We made the most points. We clearly won. The reason why is because we are better. But you're having a hard time accepting that because for so long society has just told you that you were better when that was never really the case. So in sports, basically we get to destroy stereotypes. And that's what it really is. In sports, we get to destroy all stereotypes. And they have a hard time accepting that the stereotype is not
Yeah, that is so true. I think I'm just still, trying to wrap my head around this whole idea of. I mean, look, our world has changed, and there's still, unfortunately, there's still prejudices, there's still racism, there's still all kinds of that exists in this world, right? As much as people like to say, "Oh, it doesn't exist anymore," it still does in this country and in other countries. Sorry, that's just how it is. I think it's people still have this mentality and this idea of we shouldn't be in that room. We shouldn't be in that space. Tennis is still a very niche sport. And there's only been a few people of color that have played that sport. It's growing now, but it didn't used to be like that. And so there's still this misconception and this idea of, well, you're only in this space because of whatever reason. It can be because I'm better than you. It
right.
can be because I work hard or I train hard or I bust my butt to be here. It has to be a fluke that we're here, or it has to be a
Right.
fluke that we've won. And it's just so annoying to me.
Like the thing about sports is that they can't say it was DEI that helped her win. They
Right.
can't say that. They have to find some other convoluted reason that we won. It's like, oh, maybe in the workplace, you can hide behind DEI and say DEI is the reason we got this far as an insult to us. It's not based on our own intelligence or skill. But in the sports arena, there is no advantage for everyone. Either you train to be the best or you're not the best. And they'll accept the Serena, they'll accept that one great person of color and say, okay, there's at least one. But then when the next few come along and they're just as great that they're destroying the other competition, now what's your excuse? You have no excuses anymore. So I'm very proud of the moment. Like me, I guess at my age, I would just take the win and not say anything. But I know not everybody can stay quiet. For me, the win is gonna speak for
For
its
itself.
own. That's it. I'ma just win, smile, and walk away. I won't even engage with you. I'll just be like, I walk.
And I like I
Yeah.
like the I like the responses that both Coco and Taylor gave, right? At the end of the day, you can call me whatever name you want. I'm still here. You the one I packed you.
Yes.
I
You
sent you
going home.
packing. You taking your butt home. So it don't matter how I got here. I got here. You're the one crying all the way home. So, and then there's this other thing about we always have to be the ones that show grace, right? Because if any of those ladies had talked to their opponents like that, it would be, the angry thing or the things that they label us. We're angry, we're aggressive, we're this and we're that. But those white women are allowed to say whatever they want and give a half-assed apology, and it's just competition, or it was the heat of the moment. We're never giving that same grace. And we still, even at the after we are disrespected and after our skills are looked down upon and after our greatness is, they try to diminish us, we still have to give grace. We still have to hold our head high. And I just really wish people will start being more accountable for their actions and just realize that these people they're just some shitty people in the world, honestly. And no matter what, we're not going anywhere. And that's what people don't understand. We are not going anywhere.
Mhm.
People that are saying, "Oh, go black people can't go back to their country." Well, maybe I can cuz I wasn't born here. Majority of black people are not going anywhere. They
Yeah.
built this country. They built this place. This is their home. So there's no sending them back. So I don't know. I'm just it's what I'm also realizing, and make I don't know French culture that well, but a lot of these European, like France as in particular, and other European, some, let me not say all, but some European countries, they still have that colonialism mentality.
Of course. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just wish they would do these. I wish people would do better.
I
I know
mean,
it's too much to ask, but I just wish people would do better.
like I said, me, I'm the type, I'm not gonna feel the need to say anything because I already got the win.
Yeah.
But if you keep talking, I'm going to embarrass you in the next match. I'm not
Mhm.
gonna gracefully win. I'm gonna make sure I destroy you. Like there's a huge gap in the points before I walk away. Let the win speak for itself. However, I also do understand giving people that same energy. You want to talk your trash? I'll give it back to you in the same regard, plus another 10% on top. I'll go even further with it.
Yeah.
I understand how some people need to do that too. And I feel like we're at the point where we could do both. It's not the 1940s or 50s where we had to be graceful, had to take their insults. No, we're in a time where, you know what, we're going to give you back that same energy, then some. And I agree with both sides on.
Yeah. I agree as well. All right, let's move on. Unless you have something else to add.
No, no, just really proud of the victories that are coming. I just love it when the things are just in equal footing. And what's your excuse now as to why we won? Why you can't say DI, you can't say CRT, you can't say we were favored. No, we're just better than you in this particular area. And you're still having a hard time accepting that. And that the reason that we couldn't get that far before is because you got in the way, because we were excluded from these sports. That's why you were able to convince yourself, well, you were just better. But now that we're not excluded, what's your excuse now?
That's such a great point. That is such a great point about now that we are, for a long time, it's been a particular type of people that were allowed to compete. And now that we are in those spaces, now we're really showing you that all your hype that you think you're good might
Yeah,
not, could just be just all hype. And we are really good at this. And now we're showing you that we are good at this and we are good at this sport and we are dominating this sport. And they don't like it. They don't like
yeah.
it.
So they can only continue to lie to themselves for so long. Like, how many wins do people like Taylor Townsend? How many more
Townsend,
wins?
yeah.
Townsend, how many more wins does she have to have before you just accept that she's just better? And it won't be long
Yeah.
because we already know the truth. Her track record speaks for itself. So after a while, you're just gonna look crazy.
Yeah. And also, I mean, this whole conversation about the whole DEI thing. Well, the reason why it existed in the first place is because we weren't allowed in certain spaces.
Hmm.
And so, but again, that's a whole nother conversation for another time. But all right, let's move on.
That is a whole nother conversation. Because I would want them to take away. Well, I'm not afraid if they take away DEI.
I
Because
mean, they've
again, it's
already,
like when we start winning, what do you say then? What's your
yeah,
excuse then?
yeah. All right, let's move on. So you are excited to talk about our next topic.
I'm not excited.
I think you are excited.
I just think of all the things I ever send you to talk about. This is the one you're able to pick out without a problem. Like, yeah, yeah, yeah. We need to talk about this one.
It's a good topic. What can I say? I assess everything and I'm like, I like this
You
one.
picked it because it feeds your worldview.
No, it does not.
It
It does
feeds
not
your
feed my worldview.
yeah.
No.
This idea that the black man is the boogeyman. That it feeds your worldview.
Okay, so before we record, right? We look at different things that we want to talk about from social media, and he sends me a lot of stuff that I look at, and I kind of I'm like, all right, yes, and no, maybe. And as the moment I saw this, and I'm like, we gotta talk about it. So there's this video that he sent me on social media where this dude is just literally going off on a panel of black women. There's some black men too, and shame on them for not stepping up. I don't know if this dude is black or not, but
He is.
is he?
Well, he looked like sort of a biracial black man.
Yeah, okay. And he started going off on these panel of black women, basically saying that the reason why he's not attracted to black women and he doesn't date black women
Did he
is
say
because
attracted? Is that what
he
he
said,
said?
I don't know, date,
He
attract,
said
whatever.
date. See, this is what I'm talking
Whatever.
about. He said this is why I don't date. He didn't say I'm not attracted to them.
Whatever. Same shit. If you don't date them, you're not attracted to them, right?
That's not the same thing. But go ahead.
If I'm not attracted to you, why would I date you?
That's not what he was saying because he was talking
Okay.
about behavior. But
Okay.
go ahead.
Okay, he says the reason that he doesn't date black women is because they're not quote unquote they're not soft. They're aggressive. They want to act like they're men and he doesn't appreciate, he doesn't like that. There should only be one man in the relationship and black women are too they're too independent, they're too aggressive, they're too this and the
Did he say
usual
all
thing.
those words? Did he
Yes, he
say
did. Yes,
aggressive,
he did. Go back and
independent?
yes, he
Did he
did.
say those words? Okay. 'Cause
And then
sometimes I'm
he
like, because
can I
sometimes like you
finish?
might be a Haitian woman with all that exaggeration. You exaggerated it.
And then he proceeded to say and started talking about their hair and said that's why they wear too many weaves and he doesn't like black women that wear weave.
He said weave.
Yes, he said weave
Okay.
or extensions, whatever. And he said
Could
that
have sworn he
black
said, "Where's your hair?" But go ahead.
can I lay this? Do you want to set it up then? Because you're not letting me set up the story for the people. Okay. So basically, now he has a problem with black women and their hair. And that's why he doesn't date black women. Which, if I was, I wouldn't date this dude either. But anyway, I wanted to talk about this because I am so tired of this narrative that black women are not soft and we can't be in our soft and pink era and we are aggressive people and we are too independent and we're domineering. And let's start with that part before we get into the hair part. Why do black men in particular have this opinion? Why?
What's your opinion? What are we started with?
That we're not soft, that we're not pink, that we
I
can't
cannot.
be wifely, that we can't be where did that idea come from? Where did that come from? Because go ahead.
Well, I can't speak for black men as a whole collectively. I can
In
only speak
your
for myself.
experience and what you've seen outside and seen on social media and what's out there.
Well, I'll say this: I've seen more say combativeness from westernized black women. Black women that come from, say, more Caribbean or African countries, they'll be more in touch with their femininity, their softness. And in that sense, they'll be more vulnerable, more likely to need you to say, "Hey, baby, can you help me out with this?" More likely to say, "Cook me a meal," that kind of thing.
I want to talk
Westernized,
about that. I'm
yeah.
gonna let you finish, but I'm so glad you brought that up. But go ahead.
Yeah, I'll find that more westernized, more religious or Christian black women are more combative, more aggressive. They're more likely to like say, even if you're talking with to them in a respectful, gentle manner, you're making points, but the fact that they disagree with what you're saying, they'll try to shut it down. I'm not trying to hear this. And this even happened with me and you one time. I don't know if you remember that episode we had. Yeah, we were talking about something similar and you even tried to stop the episode. I don't want to talk about this. I don't want to do this. And all I said was that here's something black women could work on. And just off
I
of that,
remember. I
right,
remember the
just off of
episode.
that, you were about to go
I
off.
was
And I
ready to
said,
shut it down.
you were ready to shut it down. And I said, y'all could work on y'all strengths. And one example I said was that because of our melanin, we age the best. So instead of worrying about your hair, be that person that comes to the 30th high school reunion and they think you're a teenager or you're in your 20s. Like work on a skincare product that takes your aging from good to great. Just outpace everyone because when you're an older woman who still looks like you're in your 20s, men don't care about your hair. It's the fact that you still look good regardless of what your hair looks like. And it was only after I explained it, that's when you were ready to listen and calm down. When I was pretty much praising you, that's when you're ready to listen. So I can see what my man is saying on that end, where it's like, yo, we're trying to have a reasonable conversation, but you being unreasonable.
Okay.
And that's what, yeah,
Okay. So let's break it down, right?
yeah,
I feel like there's so many moving parts here. So
yeah.
we're gonna have to take it one step at a time. Okay. First thing, I think you're right about Western black women versus like black women that come from, say, the African diaspora, right? Because there's like Africa and Caribbean and things like that. But there's also a difference between black men in Western countries and black
Hmm.
men in African and Caribbean countries. So I feel like that informs that situation as well, right? A typical Nigerian man. I can only speak for a Nigerian man because I'm Nigerian and I can speak for my people. A typical Nigerian man is not going like would prefer his woman not to work because he wants to be the provider. He wants to he wants to bring home the bacon, so to speak, and he like they pride themselves in taking care of their women. I have met some black men in the Western country that do not feel that way, that would prefer their women to work and take care of them. And they don't want to lift a finger to do anything for their women.
Okay.
So that right there informs how a woman acts. If you have a man that is willing to take care of you, provide for you, tells you, baby, don't worry, I got you, all of these things, it is easier for you to be in your pink and soft and mushy era versus a woman who has to deal with the man who can't even, buy her a $20 burger or
Right, right.
you know what I mean? So completely different situations. And I feel like people don't put that into perspective. And that is why also a lot of women are looking for African men and not
Yeah,
necessarily men that are black men that are from Western countries because they know that an African man will take care of them. Now, they got their own issues, right? Just like every man in every culture does. But the one thing that I do know about an African man is he will take care of his responsibilities. He will. So that's the first thing. So when you have a woman who has had to be a man, who has had to work, who has had to raise her kids maybe as a single mother, who has had to not have a man take care of her, it is hard to get that independence out of you because you've been so conditioned to taking all of that on. And that's what a lot of men don't understand. Women don't want to be a man. We don't want to have to carry on. We're not built for that. We're just not. But because of the society that we're in and sometimes the situations that we're in, we've sort of been put into a place where we don't have it's either that or you starve or your kids starve. So I think that's number one. Kind of speaking to that part of it. The other part of it is I think black men have to realize that if they quote want a woman that's, malleable and, your favorite word, submissive and, all of these things, they also have to be willing to have a vision that she's willing to. I always say, look, I will let you lead me all day, every day. Okay. If you have a vision, I will let you take me to places that I can only imagine. But if you over here leading me to a volcano and we about to fall into the lava, that's where I take stage left.
Hmm.
And that's what, again, men do not understand. They think, oh, she's being difficult, or she's being this, or she's being that. If you have vision, if you have intention, if you are being led by the grace of God, if you have a purpose, if what we are going to do as a family, I will be there to support you, boo. I will be there to, whatever you need me to be your support system, I will do that for you. But if I see that you are indecisive, you got no plan, you don't even know you don't know what to do with yourself half the time. You want to sit home and have me go out and do all the work. Like, if you are not a responsible man, I am not going to follow you anywhere.
I mean, it's something that I definitely see as I get more established, as I'm in a position where I have disposable income and things like that. I do find that women are naturally more submissive. If they ask for, say, some money for whatever reason, and you're just like, yeah, Here it is. Oh, you want me to sell it to you? No problem. It's a different kind of ball game now.
I always tell men we are so like women are the
It's a
most
different kind of
simple
ball game.
creatures on this planet. We are so simple. I don't know why y'all think we are complicated creatures. We are very, very simple. So simple. Just give us what we want.
Yeah, yeah.
That's it.
Simple enough. Just do as you please. Yeah,
Give us what we want and we will follow you anywhere, boo. Like we will
yeah.
be your look, okay? We will do whatever it is you want us to do. As long as you got a plan, as long as you are responsible, as long as you like if a woman is secure and safe in her man, you can get that woman to do anything you want her to do. Okay?
I'll say this, like me, I want to make enough so that my woman has the option to stay home. If she wants to work because she wants to, she can. If she wants to stay home, it's not a problem either. She still take care of either way. And I think that should be the goal of any good man. He gives his woman the option to stay home. And there is a sense of, say, I don't know if I want to say pride in that when your woman can stay home
Yeah.
and have nothing to worry about. There's a sense of, okay, like I'm doing what I'm supposed to do when she has nothing to worry about. Anything that she needs is taken care of and she doesn't have to stress. And I think deep down, every man wants that. Every man, even, I can't think of a man who doesn't want that. It's just that there's some men who can't do that. There's some men who can't do that, but
There's
I
some
think
men
all
who
men
don't
want
want
to.
to do that. There's some men who do not want that. There's some men who would really prefer their women to take care of them.
Well, I will say this, for example, I think for every man, for the girl that you want, oh, you'll want to take care of her. Like the girl that you view as a prize in your eyes that meets
It's
all of your
fair.
requirements, you want to take care of her because even when men are broke, if it's a girl that they like, they'll find a way.
They'll find a way.
Like
That's
I think
fair.
it was like I don't
That's
know,
fair.
Sexy Red. He said something along the lines of there was a guy she was dating, but he really liked her, and he went and robbed somebody for her. But, obviously not encouraging criminality. It was an example of how much the lengths he would go for her because he liked her. And I
Mhm.
remember one time, like there was a girl I really liked. Her birthday was coming, so for 3 months, I was just trying to save up just $50, for those 3 months. And she says she always wants to be a princess, so I bought her a tiara. But the point was that even when I had nothing, because I really liked her, I was gonna make a way. So I would say the same thing for all men. It's like when you're a prize, men are gonna do it. If he's not doing that for you, it really does mean you're not a prize in his eyes. You need to move
Yeah.
on.
Yeah, absolutely. We've talked about this, right? I think I'm at a stage in my life right now where look, I just want a man to be like, let me be in my soft and pink, okay?
Yeah,
Because I've had to be the responsible one in for a long time. I've had to be the breadwinner. I've had to do all of the things that you be considered, quote unquote, independent and more of the traditional man role because that's just the hand I was dealt, right? But I think now I've sort of done that. I've dropped my baby off at college. I'm not doing that. I'm not raising a baby anymore. Our relationship sort of, different in the way that I parent him now. I think I'm what I'm now looking for is someone that is going to, of course, I want to work. I don't want to be a stay at home anything just because I want to get out. I want to feel like I've earned something. But at the same time, I think I'm ready for my soft and pink. And a lot of women that I talk to, a lot of my friends that we talk to, it's like, yeah, we've had moments in our life where we've had to be more independent. But given the choice, a lot of us would want a man that would
yeah,
let us be that. But we have to feel safe. That's the key word. We have to feel safe. We have to feel secure. And we have to feel like at the end of the day that you got us. And if we do not feel that from you, there's nothing you can say or do that will ever make us do whatever it is you want us to do. But if we feel safe and we feel secure and we know that you will do anything for us and that you will protect us and provide and guide and lead and pray for us and motivate us and all of the things that a woman needs to feel emotionally secure because we are emotional people, then absolutely, I will follow you to the ends of the earth, boo. Okay? And then the second part of it, right, is this whole thing about black women and their hair. Even in that video, the other dude was like, "This is where I jump ship." Okay, you do not talk about a black woman and her hair. Okay,
Luckily
I
we
don't
on
understand. Huh?
luckily we were on this show.
Oh my god.
Luckily we were right
This is
here.
this is all me, baby. Okay? I don't wear weaves. This is all me. Okay? So I can't say that I relate too much, but black women are not the only ones that wear weaves. We're not the only ones that wear extensions, but for some reason we're the ones that are criticized the most. This whole thing about, oh, you got to do your, the whole natural hair wave has come back now, where, there are a lot of men who say they prefer a black woman's natural hair. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't know if they're just trying to say that for the gram or whatever, but some do say they prefer the woman's natural hair. Some prefer their women in weaves and the whole nine, and to each his own, to each their preference. But my whole thing is, I saw this video online where it literally said that if all the black women in the world stop buying hair products for 30 days.
I saw that
Did
one.
you see that video?
Yeah.
We are so underrated and so underappreciated, but yet he's literally right. If all of the black women in the world stop buying hair products, that whole industry would collapse. 1,000%.
I may have sent that one to you too, but yeah, you decided to
Did
talk
you?
about this one today. Yeah.
I don't know. May you probably did, but I ended up seeing it again. Let us wear our hair however we want to. First, it was, oh, you can't relax your hair because you're trying to be white. Then it's, the weave. Is that your, like, and it's now used as an insult. Like a black man is going to insult a black woman and be like, well, is that your real hair? It doesn't matter. It does not matter if I bought it, at the beauty supply store, or if it grew out of my hair. It's my head. It's my hair. Why do you care? But all of these other women from other cultures and other nationalities, you think all of that is their hair? They wear wigs, they wear weaves, they wear extensions, but don't nobody say nothing about them. I don't like. wh- Are we just too great? Is that why people just keep picking on
Of
us? I
course.
think that's what it is.
That
I
is what it
really
comes
think that's
down
what it
to.
is.
Where your greatness just
Our
outshines
greatness is too
us,
much.
and we gotta just dim that light as much as possible so that no one sees our own insecurities. That's what it really comes
Absolutely.
down to.
Mm, absolutely. I think that's what it is.
Now let's come back to reality. So I have these coworkers, right?
Mhm.
Two black women, this other black man. And every once in a while, when the black girls take their hair out, they'll just put it in a ponytail, like blow it out, put it in a ponytail. And me and the black guy will say, "Yo, we love that look, just real simple. We love it." And they'll just ignore us. Like they'll sort of like side eye us or be like thinking that we're just joking. We're like, no, 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 no. We really mean this. We like this natural look that you have. And it takes a while before it registers for them, where they still think we're just playing around. We're just saying it. We're like, no, no, no. We like this because of its simplicity. It really fits you. It looks good on you. And then we'll say, like, why do you think we're just playing around? They're like, we're not used to it. And when they go out actually with their girlfriends, with other black women, they'll be the ones saying, "Oh, you going out with your hair like that?" It'll be them who says it. And this doesn't mean that black men don't say it, but other black women will comment too. So me and my friend will just be like, "Yeah, no, no, we like this look just because of its simplicity." It's like a cold drink of water. Yeah, it could be like an expensive drink here, but today what I wanted was just it's a really hot day. I really want a cold drink of water. It was simple, hit the spot. Like that's what I'm seeing when I look at this, something real simple. And it just kind of makes me wonder. It's like when black women do wear their natural hair, it's hard for them to take it as a compliment or for them to accept that black men, hey, we do like it natural. I'm sure and I will say this, like when I see a woman with extensions, it also looks very attractive or good, but I also likes the natural look too, because that's how you naturally look. You're already naturally an 8 or a 7. I appreciate that too, rather than something that looks like obviously like it was bought. The idea of makeup, like this isn't how you naturally look. This is something you just put together versus your natural look, which is just as attractive.
Yeah, I think I mean, obviously there's trauma to it,
Yeah,
right? There's a reason why a lot of black women feel the way they feel about their hair, specifically because we have been shamed into into our hair being, coily and curly and um even for me, right? It took me a long time to embrace my, you know, for B4C hair
Mhm.
because it's not it's something that's all of the not all. I don't want to say all, but for a long time I did get compliments on my hair when it was straight. And it was just, oh, your hair's so nice, it's so beautiful, it's long and straight. And I do get compliments on my natural hair too, but I've kind of started to learn to embrace it because I've always thought my hair was too big and it's too poofy and it's too curly and it's too this and it's too that. So I definitely get the insecurity about how black women feel about their hair. But I just feel like our black brothers should support us because they know where this comes from, right? They know why a lot of black women I mean, people spend so much money on hair. I don't have that kind of money to spend on my hair. Okay, and even if I did, I don't think I would be spending $1,000 on hair extensions. It's wild, but I feel like that's just how society has trained us and has conditioned us to be, and for how, even in media, right? Especially in media. There are a lot of actresses of color who have come out and said, well, this hair, their hair and makeup team don't know how to do my hair. I have to have my hair in extensions because that's the only way they can do this, or whatever the reason, right? Or the hair and makeup people want to put me in a wig that's straight because that looks
Yeah.
good and it's marketable. So all of these things, and our girls are seeing it, and we've seen it over the years of, oh, this is the standard of beauty, this is how your hair should be, this is how your hair should look, it should be pin straight, it should be this. Our curls have just been something that's seen as not good and nappy and all of these things. I wish, and I know that a lot more black women are embracing their natural look. It's a trend now that everybody's gone natural. I've gone natural. I did the big chop and cut my hair so that it can grow back in its natural form. But there's still plenty of women out there who are very insecure about their hair. And I just feel like as a man, stop talking about someone's hair. Like, that's not your place. If that's not your preference, then that's not your preference. Move along. But you don't have to talk about anybody's hair.
Well, obviously, he brought it up in that video to hurt black women because he knew it was.
Exactly,
He
because
knew it
it
was.
knows it's a sore spot.
Yeah. Well, the thing to us is that, for example, for me, let's say I'm out in the world and I'm going shopping or something like that, and there's a black woman wearing natural hair, I'll immediately notice it because it sticks out to me. And immediately like, oh, they go a black woman, I might want to talk to her. But if she's wearing her weave and she looks like everyone else, I can't zone in on that.
Right.
But when she's wearing her natural hair, it sticks out. It's bold. I can
It
see
is.
her in a room. I'm like, oh, there goes a sister right there, looking great with her natural hair, her poof, her afro. Wow, how wonderful! I know where that trauma comes from, but it's about time we start to kind of address that and walk away from it. It can't be that your hair is your crown.
Yeah.
So what do you look like wearing somebody else's crown? You're not queen wearing somebody else's crown. You are queen wearing your own crown. And that's why I say again, when I see a black woman wearing natural hair, it sticks out to me. I see that crown, therefore you're a queen. And I would say that when you're wearing your natural hair and a black man's coming up to you to talk to you, he's already seeing something in your natural state that doesn't have to be altered, that doesn't have to be augmented with other groups features. It's he likes you as you are. So I do think it's time that our sisters start to think about why are they wearing these extensions? Because again, black men, we don't have a problem with you wearing extensions or buying hair. I think the problem is that you're buying hair that doesn't match your race or ethnicity. Like you should not be going to the store buying European or Indian hair to put on top of your head to look like somebody completely different. And I think that's where the problem is. Like you could buy hair, just make sure it matches who you are.
I get
But
it.
I'll say the guy he was just out of pocket. Like where was that coming? I wonder how old he was. Because again, there's a way you gotta talk to our women, to any kind of woman. You gotta talk to them like real, real gentle. Like the aggression that he was bringing. Like of course, like they're not
It was
dating you, are not
way too much.
interested.
He was doing way too
Yeah.
much
Like, you have your own trauma, sir, and I'm looking at him, he looked like he was a biracial man with that,
with his
freckles,
big
light
back.
skin. He had patches and orange hair growing from his head. I'm like,
Yeah,
bro, like it seemed like you have your own trauma with them because when black women love you, they love you.
absolutely.
That's what I've noticed in my history. When they love you, they love you. So obviously, you have your own trauma. It doesn't mean that he wasn't mistreated himself, but he has his own trauma to work through. And the fact that he immediately went to the hair, like you was
That
out to
was
hurt them. You was out
yeah.
to like you
Ew.
were shooting fire. Your shots were fired in that moment.
He knew. He knew that, that would get a rise out of the women in the room.
Yeah.
Only because, that is a very touchy subject. Don't talk about people's hair.
And the thing is, like, don't be more. It's like your hair shouldn't matter more than your character, like, to a point where it's like the hair is like a shield. Like you think this is where your beauty's coming from. That just by putting on some other culture's hair on top of your head. Like,
But people like to say, "Well, it's your character, your personality," but at the same time, it is. I was watching something the other day that said, "Yeah, that's great, and you want somebody for their personality and all that, but we are still in a vain world where the first thing you see is the way someone looks
yeah,
before you get to know them." So I get why a lot of people want to be, look. You could do whatever you want, right? You can buy Indian hair and however whatever sort of European centric hair you want to buy and put it on your head and do what you do. If that makes you feel beautiful, if that makes you feel confident in yourself, and if that helps you present in the world in the way that you want to present yourself, then to each his own. I just wish that more women in particular would be more appreciative of just their natural beauty.
yeah,
That's something that I've learned to I think that's something I've always done, right? I don't wear a lot of makeup. I prefer to wear just no makeup at all, like I'm doing today.
yeah.
Um, um, yeah, so I've always been in that camp of less is more. But
Hmm.
I might be one of the rare ones, right? My hair is looks like this today. I've gone back and forth. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm starting to get the silver. It's starting to come in.
Yeah,
And I've debated back and forth. I'm like, should I go dye it? Should I leave it? I can see your salt and pepper too.
yeah,
And I'm just like, you know what? I think I'm just gonna embrace it. I think I'm gonna look cool looking like a little rogue with my, salt and pepper stripes and all that. So
yeah.
I think I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna embrace it because I've gone back and forth about should I color my hair? Should I get rid of it? Like,
Because after a while, you're
but
gonna feel like you need it now. You
yeah,
need to do it. It's like no, like Uh, I think it's a really good look when you see people with the salt and pepper, some gray, but they still have very youthful look.
yeah,
Make
I
it
like
work.
it. Make it
Yeah,
work. But again, and if you're like other people that you want to get baked for the gods and you want to, put half of Mac on your face,
yeah,
each his own with that too. Whatever
yeah,
makes you feel confident and beautiful, I support you.
yeah.
So,
Just be careful out here. But I feel again like the deeper issue is that I don't like these discussions where we're kind of eating each other up, combative, because it starts to feed this narrative that we don't belong together. There's this natural hatred amongst us, and to me, that's not true. I think that our priorities are messed up. Wanting somebody to have it all together when you meet them, or I do like the idea of a man take care of a woman, but a man has to get there first. You have to have the patience and say he has to get there first. And in the same sense that a man should not miss a good opportunity, a woman should not miss a good opportunity either.
we've there's people that have had the conversation of should you marry the potential? Do you marry a man with potential or do you marry a man that already has reached his potential? I think that works in different scenarios. If I was in
Hmm.
my 20s, I would marry a man with potential. As I'm in my 30s and moving and above, I can't marry potential,
No, no way.
So
I'll say
I
this,
yeah.
not to cut you off, but at our big ages,
Exactly.
you should have a man who's able to give you $500 when you need it and not, he shouldn't, stress over it. Like if he's able to, if you're in a situation where you need money, he's like, hey, I got you. And he should be able to be like, I got you. That's it. Like that's the kind of man you need, you know,
Absolutely.
that's forgivable when you're in your 20s, But
Not
in your
when
30s, no, you
yeah,
gotta be able to, like, help out your woman and just say, "Yeah, I got you, that's it."
absolutely. And until I find a man like that, that's why I have you.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I have to run it by the missus.
If I need a little something, something, I'm like,
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
I need a little something, something. But no, the missus. Wait, is this a well, hold on? Is this official now?
That's for another episode.
Oh my goodness. All right. We are out of time, but thank you guys for joining us today. It's been wonderful to be back. Please make sure you like and subscribe to us on social media. We are on YouTube, we are on Instagram, Facebook. Send us an email at theforeignladypodcast@gmail.com. And we appreciate your support. Continue to support us, continue to listen, continue to share. And yeah, we will see you all next time. Bye.
Next time. Bye, guys.